Well, we've certainly had a warmer February and kind of a warm start for the most part to March. Of course, that means severe weather risk.
Yes. So far, so good. We have been warming up quite a bit, and for this afternoon, things are pretty quiet. In fact, we're starting to see lots of sunshine. But, you know, this morning we did have some rain and storms, a couple of strong storms, in fact, at times. But here in Oklahoma City, not a whole lot. We at times had a little bit of light rain or sprinkles, but we are not done with our biggest chance for the day by any means. So for now, yes, things are nice and quiet. In fact, NextGen Live has a few sprinkles off to the south and east and also in the far southwest, but that's not really producing much. We are starting to add to the destabilization of the atmosphere just to the west and into the metro, so that's not necessarily a good thing when it comes to storms. That's just going to help them to kind of feed off of that. But this is our Norman Regional Camera up of our Lucky Star Skycam network. Mostly sunny, 74 degrees. We've got a south wind at 23 miles an hour, wind gust up to 36. It's a very spring-like day. 73 in Guthrie, 73 in Piedmont, 74 right now in Bethany. You can see where the cold front is. Behind it, temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Out ahead of it, lots of 70s. For eastern Oklahoma, we had a little bit more rain, so temperatures now in the 50s and 60s. There's your south wind between about 20 to as much as around 35 miles an hour or so. So definitely very gusty this afternoon. It's going to stay pretty windy as we go throughout the evening as well. So this storm system just kind of hanging out across the northwest, and eventually as we go throughout the day today, it's slowly going to make its way off to the south and east. So for this afternoon, again, pretty quiet. It's not going to be until late afternoon. We're talking after about 4 o'clock into the early evening when we're expecting more rain and storms to fire out ahead of that cold front and ahead of the dry line in far southwest Oklahoma. Some of these storms will have the biggest potential of becoming strong to severe, eventually making their way into Oklahoma City probably after about 7 or 8 o'clock. Now, eventually overnight tonight, I think the coverage of the storms will expand quite a bit across really all of central and eventually eastern Oklahoma. Overnight tonight, we may get a few breaks in the rain, but generally we're expecting some scattered showers throughout much of the state. In the meantime, it's going to be cold enough by overnight and into tomorrow morning. We could see some snow out in the panhandle, but during the day tomorrow, as that cold front continues to push off to the south and east, it could get cold enough that we could actually see a rain and snow mix eventually, even here in Oklahoma City. But because it's been so warm, because all the other rain that we're expecting, we would maybe see some snow in western Oklahoma that would accumulate on grassy surfaces, but it would likely melt almost immediately in Oklahoma City if we get anything at all. But how much rain are we looking at? Well, that would certainly be a lot more significant. We're talking about anywhere from around 3/10 to 4/10 of an inch all around Oklahoma County, but maybe just out to the west around 1/4 of an inch or so, with the higher amounts going to be off to the east. So looking statewide, I think the much higher amounts are going to be in far eastern Oklahoma by the time it's all said and done, anywhere from 1 to 1.5 to maybe isolated up to 2, with lesser amounts across the far west. So for this afternoon, any one spot, a pretty low chance of an isolated shower or storm, but this evening that changes quite a bit. In fact, I think this front's going to continue to push off to the south and east, so out ahead of that, we're expecting rain and storms that will be a lot more likely. And then again, with some of these storms that will likely develop, there is going to be that threat that they could produce quarter-size hail, wind gusts of 65 miles an hour, so storm trackers will definitely be out. Temperatures today, we're going to climb a few more degrees before eventually that will just kind of stop as more clouds move in. But overnight tonight, dropping into the upper 40s, low 50s, but about 56 in Shawnee, 49 degrees in Guthrie, 48 in Piedmont. For this afternoon, now looking at low to upper 70s across parts of northern, northwestern Oklahoma, western Oklahoma, certainly seeing some temperatures in the upper 70s here eventually, but the cold front moves in overnight tonight, dropping to about 38 degrees in Woodward, 41 in Alvin, still holding on into the 50s in Ponca City and in Stillwater. During that time, rain and storms are still likely overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning across central and eastern Oklahoma, while the far northwest, we could start to see that rain and snow mix. Tomorrow afternoon, the cold front's going to be well to the south and east. It's going to be a blustery north wind. Afternoon temperatures likely making it into the mid-50s, but it's going to feel a little colder than that, especially in the northwest. The air temperature itself not making it out of the 30s during the day, with a lot more snow likely across the far west. But again, because it's been so warm, it's likely not to accumulate, if at all, maybe on those grassy surfaces, while the rain and snow mix eventually does move into Oklahoma City, but no accumulation there either. Tomorrow night to Saturday morning, some of that rain and snow mix will occur more so on the western sides of the metro, while we're still going to see the rain in south central and southeast Oklahoma. Saturday, I'll see you at the zoo in the morning, and in the afternoon, it's going to be a little cool. We're going to have that northwest wind. Temperatures in the mid and upper 50s. We do warm up into the 60s by Sunday. Don't forget, we do lose that hour of sleep by Saturday night to early Sunday morning. Next week, it's looking warm with a chance of storms later in the week.
Oh, man, I forgot about losing the sleep.
I know. We're going to spring forward.
All right, thanks so much. Still ahead.